Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have run into an issue with after 160,000 miles and let's see, 6-7 years of service. My Malibu finally needed battery. So I'm going to show you how to do this. This is a basic install. If you know how to change the battery, hey, move on, click subscribe at the bottom, and everybody's great. So for those of you who don't know how to change a battery, first off, you need to identify that the battery is something wrong. I would have people come into the shop constantly that used to say things like, oh, I turn the key and nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. And the answer is, well, something happens, right? And, does the dash light up? Does, do you get a click, from when you turn the key, do you hear it like this every time you turn the key, or is it a rapid fire kind of this click noise? And that's usually the starter telling you it doesn't have enough juice. If you can get the, radio to turn on, and you can get, the headlights to turn on, and everything's fine, but you just still get this weird click, click, click noise, that's probably a good indication you've got a dead battery. Now, it's also a good idea that since you're here, double check the alternator. I've already used the multimeter to double check that the alternator is good. And this is my new battery. I just did it. It took me, I don't know, this should take, somebody who's never done this before, maybe half hour or so. But number one thing we're going to want to do is when we're moving the battery, we're going to want to take off the negative side first. Negative side, why? Because if you're wrenching on the positive end here and you happen to miss and touch the ground, you're going to shoot sparks and there's a potential for a fire. So always take the negative side off first. And I just happen to know that this is a 10 millimeter, and of course I've got a black tool because black wrenches are better, I guess. And all we're gonna do, real simple, it's gonna loosen it up. We're not gonna take it off all the way, but notice, oh, see, look at that, comes right off. Now we're just fine. We can touch these because it's not grounded, it's not completed a complete circuit. To go ahead and take this side, we're just gonna loosen it up. Real simple, like so. All right, now that we've got both of those off, this battery happens to have one tie down, and every one has a tie down, of course. This one happens to be, and I happen to know that this is a 14 millimeter, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that on there. Most newer cars nowadays are going to be metric. Now some, Dodge for some reason likes to put a combination of both, and I don't know why, but they like to. I don't know why they like to do that, but they do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that bolt. And then what you've got is, after that, you've got a little retaining block that goes over the battery. And of course now, we can remove the battery. Battery's gone, okay? This happens to be my new battery, so I'm going to put that right back in. And of course, there's going to be a core charge for your old battery because there's a bunch of acid and lead and a bunch of other things, that kill the environment. So anyway, I'm going to line up the block. Very simple. Now what I like to do here is I like to hand start it and make sure that it's in there good before I give her the beans, because I don't want to cross thread it. Okay, now in reverse order, just like we were doing, we are going to put the positive side back on, like so. Actually, you know what? I forgot a step. And the step here is I'm going to grab a small brush, and it never hurts to go in. I've already done this already, so I'm not going to, go to town on it, but go in here with a small brush, brush these, get these nice and clean, get this nice and clean, because there's nothing worse than putting a new battery in there, getting it in there, put everything on, and then click, same thing, because you have a bad connection or a rusty or corroded connection here at one of the two terminals. So that is why you want to go ahead and give those a good brush. So once I am done, I'm going to go ahead and get this on there. Of course, black tool is more blacker, because who likes, silver tools? So anyway, and I can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to put the camera down. Okay, so now I've gotten it tight on there. They're not going to move. Cleaned up the leads, you should be good to go. You might lose your battery, the presets for your radio and your clock. You might have to reset that, but you should be good to go. This is how you change a battery. Simple 101. Thanks for making it to the end. Subscribe in the bottom, like if you can. You know, I like making these videos for you guys. Kind of makes me feel good. So just glad you're watching. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.